Some breaking news this afternoon. The White House has confirmed that Hamza bin Laden, that's the son of Osama bin Laden, has been killed in a US counter-terrorism operation. A White House statement said that the loss of Hamza bin Laden not only deprives al-Qaeda of important leadership skills and the symbolic connection to his father, but undermines important operational activities of the group. Well, our Foreign Affairs editor, Deborah Haynes, is on the line for us. Deborah, insofar as the war on terror goes, this news is a pretty huge development.
Well, it's a development, but I wouldn't say it's a huge development because we have known for the last 2 months that Hamza bin Laden was suspected to have been killed. NBC actually broke that line back in July, and while there was no official confirmation or official public statement from the White House, sources off the record were indicating that that was what was believed. Also, the timing of the death, that hasn't yet been confirmed. It's understood that it happened in the first 2 years of the Trump presidency, so that would be kind of 2017, 2018. So this isn't a recent development. But very interestingly and importantly, al-Qaeda itself has yet to actually comment on this, confirm or deny that Hamza bin Laden is dead. The fact that you've got Donald Trump, the White House, saying that he is dead and he was killed in a US counter-terrorism operation in the Afghanistan-Pakistan region, that indicates that they must have solid evidence to believe that it's true. But the silence on the part of al-Qaeda is notable. In terms of the actual impact of what this means, his death, operationally, actually, it means very little. Hamza bin Laden was being groomed to be a leader of the al-Qaeda group, taking on that role that began with his father, Osama bin Laden. But that wasn't going to happen anytime soon. And while the statement from the White House says that he was playing a part in planning and dealing with various terrorist groups, there's no real sense that his death is actually going to impact on operations. And it's important to remember that while al-Qaeda has perhaps slipped from the public minds in the sense that Islamic State is the group, the terrorist group, the Islamist extremist group that most people think about when they think of terrorist atrocities and attacks, because that has been predominant over the past few years. Al-Qaeda is very much still there, still alive, still planning, still seeking to conduct what's known as spectacular attacks against the West. So while, yes, it's important for the White House to have hunted down and killed what they believe to be the threat that was posed by Hamza bin Laden, the overall mission of hunting down members of that group continues.
Yeah, as you were intimating there, I mean, the influence of al-Qaeda was considered to have been hugely weakened, wasn't it, back in 2011 when Osama bin Laden was killed. But there's a lot of talk in the last few months about the extent to which they have rebuilt and regrouped.
Yes, and in fact, I interviewed Ben Wallace, who was at that time the security minister over in the summer, now, of course, the defense secretary. And we were talking more broadly about Islamist terrorism and the shape it takes at the moment. And he made the point of saying that al-Qaeda is very much still looking to launch attacks, including here in Europe. So clearly on the minds of government ministers, of the security services. And yes, while back in 2011, you had that the SEAL Team 6, the US Navy SEALs, conducting that audacious raid into Pakistan, where they had found Osama bin Laden's hiding place in a place called Abbottabad, and conducting that raid in which the al-Qaeda leader was killed. And that was obviously hugely important for the US, given the September 11 attacks back in 2001. That moment then, there was a huge blow to the group in terms of the loss of such a charismatic leader that had inspired so many. And his successor is a man called Ayman Zawahiri. He has much less of the same kind of draw power that Osama bin Laden had. And you've seen over the past few years with the spread and the growth of Islamic State in Syria, they were able to attract a lot more recruits during that time because of their ability to send out messages, to deliver messages across the internet, using social media, using those slick videos to try to spread their propaganda, which unfortunately was successful. And that's something that Al-Qaeda hadn't done in the past as effectively, but obviously it's a learning organisation, and it's really important to remember that it hasn't gone away.